Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the 35th ever episode of Beer Battered Sports, the podcast created by fans for fans. Because let's be honest, we are the most qualified people to talk about our favorite teams. I am your co host, Isaac, who for some reason decided to use my announcer voice that I do at my other job for the intro. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Whatever. I'm your co host, Isaac.
And I'm Kylee.
I'm 40. And
And
there's,
welcome.
there's the dog.
There's the dog.
Hey, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. Love to see our fans in support. Welcome to episode 35 of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. As I mentioned before, the podcast created by fans for fans because, you know the drill by now. We're the most qualified to talk about our favorite teams. And,
Absolutely.
we got an exciting episode planned for you guys today. We're going to be diving into a crazy week 2 of the NFL. Week 2 is always crazy. It always is just ridiculous. We're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into some history about to be made in baseball and some late breaking news in the basketball world. Plus, preseason hockey is starting soon, so we can finally talk about hockey stuff. As always, big thank you to all of our sponsors. You can see them scrolling along the screen on the bottom. I'm getting twisted over my words. That being said, we of course have our usual promo codes for you guys to use. If you go on over to www.northspirits.com, you can use promo code OCS at checkout to get 25% off all of your Beardsman products. You may have noticed, unfortunately, the playoff beard has been shaved, but that's because I'm getting ready to grow a real playoff beard for the Yankees playoff push.
Love it.
If I had to recommend anything, you guys, if you really want a thick beard, really luscious beard, get their beard oil and their beard brush. It'll help. Also,
I can't attest to that, but I'm just gonna take your face as the example.
everyone can grow facial hair, Kylee. Come on. You're not trying hard enough. You're not trying hard enough. One more promo code for you guys. You go on over to www.righteousfelon.com. You can use promo code OCSN at checkout to get 50% off of your order of a wide variety of delicious jerkies. Take it from Kylee, who actually eats jerky. Where am I pointing? Take it from Kylee, who actually eats eats jerky. It's pretty damn good. So go on over www.righteousfelon.com.
And remember, we do have a partnership with Lone Oak for the month. So I got a Groove It. It's the Imperial Sour Ale with pink guava.
How is it?
It's actually pretty good.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
I've been to Lone Oak before. Beautiful place. It's right near my childhood home before I moved. It's a great place. Take your friends for their birthdays there. They'll enjoy it.
Wow, that is really good.
Yeah. Now, Kylee, I did hear we do have another new sponsor to talk about, so I'm going to turn it to you to give us the deets on this new sponsorship.
Well, as great as this network has been, we are partnered with Fanatics now, sponsored with Fanatics.
Woohoo!
Okay.
So,
yeah,
that's pretty big.
Yeah, you guys go over to fanatics.com/BBS. You can get all of your best gear for the season. Whatever team you support, they're going to have it. I believe I do have some Fanatics gear that I forgot to take out for the episode, but I think I have a Fanatics Lightning sweatshirt, which is awesome.
Get the camo.
Yeah, she did. Kylee was the one who recommended it. Get the camo print sweatshirts. They are awesome. That's all I'm going to say. They're awesome. Basically, that's all I can say.
I've used Fanatics all the time. That's where I got my Harden jersey. That's where I got so much of my stuff. And I mean, it's they have every sport, NCAA even. They even have NASCAR. They have, if you're gearing up for hockey, if you're gearing up for basketball, that starts soon. MLB postseason merch is coming out soon. If your team is good, Phillies. And the football season just started, so if you're excited about a player that's coming up or something like that, you got some stuff to go. So just head over to fanatics.com/BBS and get some good merch of any team.
And I'm going to say this as a bigger dude. If you're a bigger guy who wants to support your team, they've got your sizes. They got that sweatshirt, which was the right size for me. Comfortable, fits well. Just saying. With that being said, as Kylee
I definitely recommend this being really cold. This
Good
is
to know.
less cold, but it would
Good to know.
cold. Absolutely.
Cold. Gotcha. Where were
So-
we now? Right.
Sorry, I wasn't active for a second. I was looking at some bets for today.
Good. Well, we're going to start today's episode like we always do by going over to the world of baseball, where last night we took one step closer to history. Aaron Judge, number
But-
60.
But before we even get into Judge's number 60, let's say shout out to the Yankees real quick. Down 8-4 in the ninth inning. and came back and won that game 9-8. That's incredible.
Walk-off grand slam, man. Those are special.
I have terrible news. I didn't watch last night's game.
Wow.
I was at a friend's house and I forgot the Yankees were playing. I was like, shit, Judge might hit one. I turned it on. They were down 4-0, and I was like, never mind. I'm not doing that anymore. I hate that I did that because I missed probably the best game of the season for the Yankees, and I just want to kick myself. So tonight at work, I don't care if a customer looks at me like, why do you have your phone with you while you're serving tables? You know why? Because Aaron Judge is about to tie Mickey Mantle.
Yep.
Sorry, Mickey Mantle? Roger Maris. Sorry. Is about to tie Roger Maris. I get Maris and Mantle confused. I shouldn't do that. That's like a prime. It's like the prime. That's a whatever. Okay, you see how excited I am for this. I'm so excited that I'm losing track of what I should be saying. What I wanted to say is this. I want to have this discussion with you guys. Aaron Judge is doing something that we haven't seen since probably Barry Bonds. Baseball in the 21st century, ever since Barry Bonds stepped away from the sport, baseball's kind of gone away from the whole power hitting to more focused small ball play. Kind of
because steroids is one.
yeah. But
what did Bonds have in that year? Was it 71?
73, I believe.
Yeah, something like that. But
yeah.
I was saying last night when Aaron Judge hit 60, I told my friend, I said, I think he's going to tie Barry Bonds.
He could. He very well could.
That'd be great.
And I want to bring this topic up for discussion because
at 36, what the hell?
What?
He did that at 36.
Barry Bonds?
Yeah, he was juiced up.
Remember, there's a big asterisk next to that. He was juiced.
Hey, it's okay.
Right. So
juicing has nothing to do with hand-eye coordination, though.
Right, that's what I was about to say.
Fair enough.
You still have to hit it. So the power is there because of the juice, but you still got to make the contact.
That is true.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say is this. Aaron Judge, I feel like, is leading a renaissance for baseball. It can be argued that ever since, the end of the steroid era, baseball's kind of been in this weird position. The last couple of years, last couple of decades in baseball, it's kind of been this weird position where there haven't really been any big super teams. There's been a lot of parity. The only teams that really have emerged as like big powerhouses have been the Red Sox and the Giants. And well, let's be honest, teams. There's a greater divide coming between big market teams like the Yankees and Dodgers, who are throwing around money like they have an infinite supply, which in the case of the Dodgers, I think they do. And then you have the small market teams that are struggling to even, stay in the one place. Like, let's be honest, the Oakland Athletics are not staying in Oakland for much longer.
No.
Baseball has been in this weird transitional period. Battle between big and small market teams. A lot of big name players from the end of the steroid era are reaching the end of their careers. Guys like Joey Votto and Albert Pujols are probably not going to be around for much longer. What Aaron Judge has done this season, I think, is what the Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa home run chase in 1998 did for the sport of baseball. It's bringing baseball back. It's making people pay more attention to baseball and that, this is actually really fun. And I think this season as a whole has been like that. This season has been absolutely wild. There have been so many great games, and I think that's really helping to get baseball back, push baseball back up there. Because honestly, let's be honest, over the last decade, outside of the playoffs, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to baseball. Part of that is because the Yankees have struggled, but really it's been because it's like there's no overall theme. It's just we're playing baseball. Now we're starting to see a theme develop again, which I think is that power hitting is coming back.
Yeah, and I mean, people want to see home runs. They want to see offense.
Yeah.
A lot of people are bored with the pitching battles and stuff like that. I mean, a pitching battle every once in a while is amazing.
Yeah.
But for some people, when it's a couple games a month or like a couple games a week even, people just get bored of it. They don't like that because there's nothing. They want to see runs. And I mean, we all want to see runs. I want to see, as a Phillies fan, I want to see Schwarber hit 50. He already has 40. I want to see Harper. I want to see Castellanos. There's players that need to hit, and we all want to see we all want to see offense.
And I think what the Yankees have done this season, and I'll even say this, even the Phillies with their lineup, a lot of teams this year, we're starting to see a trend more towards offense taking over. And to be fair, I'm fine with there being plenty of defense too. I like me a good old-fashioned pitching battle every once in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back on like years like as someone who appreciates the history of the game, looking at years like 1968 when Bob Gibson had like a 1.3 ERA. Yeah, that's amazing. But that every single game,
yeah,
yeah. But it's just ridiculous what Aaron Judge is doing. And interesting enough, the fan that caught his 60th home run, he gave it back to Judge for free.
No money. Crazy.
You got a signed bat and ball anyway.
Yeah, he got a signed bat and ball anyway. And I don't blame the fan. I mean, Judge, that's a true Yankees fan right there.
Yeah.
Just paying respects and honoring like what Judge has done for the organization of the Yankees. So I get it.
You know who didn't get the 60th home run ball though?
Who?
Our Goober of the Week, sponsored by Rob Manfred. That's right. Goober of the Week for episode 35, Zach Hampel.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know anything about Zach Hampel.
But he didn't do it.
Oh, that's good. My buddy Josh and I, we both are big into baseball. Josh and I both agree Zach Hampel is just... Zach Hampel needs to touch grass or something. I've never seen somebody...
I liked his content, but from all the things that I've heard lately, it's chaotic.
Yeah, and you retweeted that video of the Rockies security guard who was explaining the situation that happened a couple months ago. Why the hell are you taking a kid? Why are you taking a ball away from a kid when it was tossed up to the kid specifically by a coach?
Oh, because he dropped it, so it's fair game.
Oh, what a dick!
You give it to the kid.
Yeah, come on, man. You're a grown-ass man. Like, also, you're in Colorado. You're going to get a home run ball no matter what. It's Colorado. Let the kid have one. Yeah. Whatever. Moving on to some more stuff from the world of baseball. This actually applies to both baseball and the NBA, so this is interesting. And if you're a fan of the Toronto teams, I've got – and hockey, too. Good news. Canada is reportedly going to be lifting the vaccine mandate. Now, Canada's vaccine mandate has made things a little difficult for certain teams this year that want to play in Toronto, especially for the Royals with some of their players a while back at the start of the season.
Didn't they have like 11?
I think they did. I know the Yankees had an issue with that too, but I think Yankee management basically said, just get the shot. Come on. I got to say.
Mike.
Hampel's a tool. Yes, he is. I got to say, look, I don't care what people's opinions on vaccines are. All I'm going to say is this. Good. Because Canada lifting that vaccine mandate is going to result in things being a lot more smoother. And while I understand... No, we don't want too much chaos. Come on. That chaos was fun at first, but then it just got tiring.
No. Just imagine, like, the Yankees and the Blue Jays have to play each other without any vaccine mandates. You know how great that's going to be if they have to play each other in the playoffs?
Oh, wait. No, actually.
Great, dude.
I don't know how I feel about that, though. I really don't know how I feel about that. I don't want the Blue Jays in the playoffs. Why couldn't the Orioles have, kept their hot streak going and they could be the team we face? That would have been fun. I would have tried to get tickets. I probably would have bankrupted myself, but I would have gotten tickets.
Right.
Speaking of tickets, this is unrelated, but I just wanted to bring this up. You guys know how you can get tickets to some sporting events for like $50 or even fewer if your team is bad in the States? Yeah. You want to know how much a ticket to go to the British Grand Prix in Formula One is?
How much?
2,000 pounds. 2,000 British pounds. This is just for like general seating.
Wow.
I don't want to. Sorry, Calvin, go.
That's incredible.
I don't want to hear anybody complain about having to get $100 tickets for nosebleeds at a Wizards game ever again. I will gladly take $100 tickets to see the Wizards play from the nosebleeds over that. And I'm a motorsports guy, and even I'm like, that's outrageous.
That's Jesus.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yep, 2,000 pounds for general admission tickets.
That's ridiculous.
And here's the crazy thing: they're going to sell out every year.
Yes.
Yeah, they still will. Couple more things from baseball. It was a bit of I want to say a slow week, I guess. Kurt Suzuki is set to retire after the season. It was his 16th. As somebody who did enjoy watching him with Washington and the few Nationals games I did go to, hell of a career, and he was an anchor for that team on that World Series run. Kylie, I noticed you're
Thanks, Mike.
yeah, 2,260 US dollars. Yeah. And people wonder oh man. I just imagine the people in charge of Formula One and the FIA are wondering, are we out of touch? No, something must be wrong with the people.
Right.
Yeah.
No
One last.
system
So,
change.
Kylie, in our little promo, we were talking about Fanatics and their gear. You mentioned Phillies gear. We got to talk about the Phillies. I know we've been clowning on the Mets as possibly suffering a late season collapse, but it doesn't look like they're the ones doing the collapsing. What's going on in Philly, Kylie? What's up with your Phillies?
Lot of runs scored in that game last night.
28 total. I told you to stay away.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too.
Yeah. In terms of sports betting anyway. I don't know. I'm still not. We're 2.5 games up still. The magic number is 13. So they still the freaking Brewers still have another game against the Mets, and then we have one game against Toronto tonight, and then we play Atlanta. So it's gonna be a battle.
I'm not worried about us against the Brewers.
I'm not either.
If we were going to lose any game against the Brewers, it should have been last night. We were down 4-0 all the way into the 6th inning.
Yeah.
And, we got fortunate enough to score 3 runs in the 6th. We scored another 4 runs in the 7th. Fortunate enough to win that game 7-5. So
thank you.
You guys are really chasing the Braves right now. Not us.
Speaking of the Mets and the Braves, they both have clinched playoff berths.
Must be nice.
Yeah, we have our first wild card playoff berth clinched.
Coincidentally, I had blue and orange today. It wasn't even planned like that. Mets colors even without Mets gear.
I forgot to get my Judge jersey out. I was gonna wear it, but I was pushing my shower way too close to the start of the recording. But it's all good. Speaking of the division races, by the way, teams that have officially been eliminated now in the American League: Oakland, Detroit, Kansas City, expected. Texas, meh. Angels. This is now the 8th consecutive year that the Angels will not make the playoffs, with arguably 2 of the best players in the entire sport on their roster. Just sadness.
What looked like a team that could be pretty damn good is now out.
They're a great paper team. Great paper. I can't wait to the NFL because I have a couple teams that I said were paper teams in the offseason that I want to talk about.
We'll get there eventually. We're gonna get there. We're gonna spend the majority of today's episode on the NFL. We're gonna wrap up baseball in a sec. Other teams that got eliminated in the National League: Washington, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Miami, the Cubs, and the Rockies. I don't know how the Diamondbacks are still in the hunt, but they're probably not going to be much longer because they're 12 games out of the wild card. But there you go. Kylie, let's do a quick standings update for the wild card and look at our stat leaders before we head over to a quick trip with basketball and hockey.
All right. So for the wild card in the American League, it is Toronto 2.5 games up. Then the Rays a half game up, and the Mariners are sitting pretty at the last spot. The Orioles are 5 games back, and the White Sox are 5.5 games back. So That's a pretty good distance. I don't see either of them getting into the playoffs because that's 13 games left, I believe.
Basically, I'm a little nervous about the Mariners. Much of the summer they were sitting pretty comfortably in the wild card spot, but now they're the last team in, and I
Yeah.
know they're 5 games up on the Orioles, but as we've seen this year, the Orioles can go on a winning streak out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I know Mariners fans. I don't want to meet Mariners fans if their team blows this. They have a chance to break the longest playoff drought in baseball history, and they were
Yeah.
looking good for a while, but the East has gotten so good that suddenly Seattle's kind of getting nervous.
Yeah. And then over to the National League, the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be either the Braves or the Mets for the one spot. I don't know who's going to get it. It depends on how Atlanta plays against Philadelphia. It depends on this last series. So if the if the
who do you have?
Huh?
Who do you have us losing to?
I don't have you losing to anybody.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's no way that the Braves beat us out for this one seed because
Right.
I don't have us losing to too many series against anybody. Because
my money's on the Mets.
Yeah, we have the Athletics after the Brewers, and I'm really not worried about the Athletics.
Yeah, no. So as long as we handle our business against Atlanta, you guys are fine.
We're up 2 games right now against them, so we just need you guys to beat them once. If you guys can beat them once for us and we sweep the Athletics, we'll be fine.
Okay, well, we need more than that, so so I'm hoping for a clean sweep, please. And then it's between San Diego, they're a game and a half up, and the Phillies are stressfully sitting at the last spot with the Brewers 2.5 games behind them. Very stressful right now because the Phillies have the second longest playoff drought, and the Mariners look like they're going to get it. They're going to end theirs. So we need to end ours so the Angels can have the longest playoff drought because I would hate.
It would make sense for the Angels to be the next team.
It would make sense for the Phillies too because it's the Phillies.
Yeah.
I mean, I love us, but Jesus.
It has really been a magical year for both you and the Mariners. Actually, consistently being good.
Yeah, we'll see.
So who are our stat leaders for at the end of this week, Kylee?
All right. So for batting average, we got Freddie Freeman with a 330. Goldschmidt is 322, so it's not very close. With home runs, of course, Judge. But Kyle Schwarber, you're welcome for this, Isaac. Kyle Schwarber is getting close. He has 40. It's getting close.
I'm getting nervous. I think Aaron needs to hit like 10 more and he'll be safe.
You just ruined it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, Aaron Judge is doing fine. He doesn't need to hit more home runs.
You just shut up. Let me work my magic.
Your jinxing has worked, so go ahead.
Right. All right. So for RBI, we got Aaron Judge with 128, of course. Alonso has 121, so that's close. For hits, it's Freddie Freeman with 189. Trey Turner has 182, so that's close too. And for stolen bases, John Brody is getting ahead with 36, and then Cedric Mullins and Tommy Edman have 31. So it's really just a battle for second at this point.
Kind of starting to see the stats kind of solidify on who's going to take what.
Yeah. And then for pitching, wins, Kyle Wright has 19. Julio Urias and Justin Verlander have 17. So that's pretty close. And then for ERA, Verlander with the 1.78, and it is not close. Dylan Cease has a 2.13. Not close. For saves, Kenley Jansen and Emmanuel Clace have 36. And Josh Hader is still on this list with 33. And he's at 29 since the trade deadline.
Man.
Yeah. For strikeouts, Garrett Cole, he has 236. Corbin Burns has 223, but it's looking like Garrett Cole is just going to take it because Garrett Cole is insane.
Yes, Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole.
And then for quality starts, it's Framber Valdez with 26. Yu Darvish and Alek Manoah have 23, so that's pretty close. But yeah,
All right.
there you go.
Well, it's the final stretch down to the playoffs is going to be fascinating to watch, and I for one
So
cannot
stressful.
wait. Stressful too, yeah.
Wait, before we get away from baseball, are you guys beating the Blue Jays today?
I got to see the pitching matchup because who the hell knows at this point. Let's see. Zach Wheeler.
Zach Wheeler. I like the under 8. Under 8. 2 great pitchers on the mound. Shouldn't go over 8 points.
I like the over.
Yeah, after last night, I don't know.
I'm staying away from the
I'm gonna
Phillies.
stay.
For the rest of the
Phillies
season.
the Phillies, they stress me out. They give me heart attacks.
Yeah.
It's like me watching the Yankees.
I say win and over 8 runs, but yeah, Wheeler returns and Syndergaard is going to replace him after. So at this point, Syndergaard is very not Thor,
Huh.
to say the least. All right, quick things to jump over to NHL. Go ahead, Isaac.
Ooh, yes, Hockey Corner. So, preseason hockey is about to be upon us. Training camps have started, well, are in the process of starting up. There's a lot of excitement in the air. We had a couple of prospect games, which were a lot of fun. I caught a little bit of Tampa Bay's prospect game, and I got to say, I was impressed with what I saw. That's all I'm going to say on that. We did have one major payout that was pretty interesting. The Colorado Avalanche gave Nathan McKinnon, their star and the star of the show for their title run, an 8-year, $100.8 million deal as to extend his contract, making him the highest paid player in the NHL. Yeah. It's a well-deserved paycheck for him. He was the rock that they had built their title-winning team around, and they probably will continue to be competitive for the next couple of years. I know after the Stanley Cup, when we were talking about off-season, we mentioned how the Avalanche have a lot of older players and are going to need to retool a lot, but they've locked down their core, and that's what's crucial in this case. Other big news in hockey. We had a couple of big retirements. 3 just massive fortresses of defense in the world of hockey for the last 2 decades have retired. Keith Yandel, PK Subban, and Zdeno Chara. I got to say, I think PK Subban is going to be the one that sticks out the most to me there. He's probably one of the most fascinating personalities in hockey. Played for the Canadiens, Predators, and the Devils. Kylee, I know you'd like that, right?
He wasn't great for us.
His peak was with the Canadiens, but
Oh
you know.
Yeah. I loved PK Subban. He's a great person. He was okay for the Devils, but as a person, I absolutely loved him.
Yeah.
He's a great locker room guy. So
Keith Yandel, meanwhile, he was like a rock for the Phoenix Coyotes for a good chunk of the 2000s and early 2010s. Part of the reason why the Coyotes had that random run to the Western Conference Finals in, I think, 2012. That still is so weird to me that this franchise actually has a third-round playoff appearance. Doesn't make sense, but Yandel was a huge part of that. He also briefly had a stint with the Rangers. And also was part of the underachieving Florida Panthers team. And to all of our Flyers fans out there, because I know you guys watch the show because we're on Old City Sports Network, and, well, everyone here likes the Flyers in some capacity. He did end his career as a Philadelphia Flyer, did score one last goal with the Flyers. But the one I think everybody wants me to talk about is Zdeno Chara, one of the last players playing professional sports in North America who began playing in the 90s. Big Z, Slovakian, largest guy to ever play in the NHL. He played for the Islanders, the Senators, the Bruins. He was best known for being part of the dominant. As a Flyers fan, Yandel was brutal to watch last year. Yeah, Mike, I think we can all agree that yeah, he was past his prime. So yeah, it was time. But Zdeno Chara, I mean, he kept it up despite his age. Huge contributor to that Boston Bruins team that won the 2011 Cup, and probably one of the most intimidating players in the history of the NHL. Just woo! There is something about Zdeno Chara that just gives me chills because he is just so big and so good. So I'm gonna miss him. Fittingly, he ended his career as a New York Islander, the same team he started on when he joined the NHL. He's also interesting. I think he played for the Slovakian, Czech, European, minor league hockey, NHL, Swedish league, and even the Russian KHL team. So he's played basically for every major hockey league in the world.
Wow.
It's a ridiculous. His playing career, just so you know, he started his playing career in 1994, and he just wrapped it up. So
what?
Yeah,
that's insane.
The only player who's still around for the 90s now, by the way, is Bartolo Colon.
Wow.
Yeah. As long as you don't count motorsports drivers, because there's a bunch of racing drivers that have been racing since like the 80s that are still hanging around. So
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Superior sport with long careers. All right, I'll be quiet. Let's move on to basketball
Yeah.
and quickly talk about some stuff over there. And I
That's
think we
some big news there.
should start with the biggest breaking news that came out just before we were about to start. Robert
Okay.
Sarver is going to sell the Suns and the Mercury.
Yep. I think that's a great idea for him, just based on, everything that happened and stuff like that. That was probably the best idea.
Yeah,
From
absolutely.
the reports that have come out about what was going on.
Yes.
Yeah, no. And again, I know we mentioned this last week, and I'll mention it again. This is further evidence to the NBA being the best organization of sporting organization when it comes to keeping their owners accountable. No other league is going to straight up tell their owners, like, we think you should sell the franchise when they do that. The NBA now has done this twice in the last century. The first with Donald Sterling, and I don't think they forced Sarver to sell, but I think they were pressured. I think Adam Silver was kind of like, so we would like you not to return as owner of the Suns. It's up to you. But
the sponsors were saying they were going to pull out of the sponsorship.
Yeah, and like, look, Phoenix. Despite being a small market team, Phoenix is pretty profitable. Like they have got legit talent, and they have a chance to be a force to be reckoned with if they can get their act together and deal with the big thorn in their side of the West that is Golden State. So for them to for Sarver to do the right thing in this case and admit, okay, yeah, I screwed up big time, so I'm going to sell the franchise. Yeah, I'm not going to give him major props for it just because of what the news that's come out about what was going on and the workplace culture. But good on him that he's actually doing the right thing here and selling.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. 1000%.
And I didn't know he owned the Mercury too, so it'll be interesting to see. By the way, speaking of the WNBA, shout out to the Las Vegas Aces on winning the WNBA championship. I hate that they scheduled the final game of the finals during NFL Sunday, which is like, come on, y'all, put it on a Tuesday night when there's nothing else on. You want good ratings, that's what you do. But still, congratulations, Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I mean, Vegas is the WNBA is obviously not too popular.
Should be,
especially when you compare it. It should be, but especially when you compare it to the NBA.
Yeah.
And last year, if you looked at the Chicago Skies parade, there wasn't anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, no one showed up for
you
Chicago.
Look at Vegas's.
Yeah.
They were lined up both sides of the street, on the sidewalk. They were everywhere. Vegas really shows up, and they support their own. They really need a basketball and a baseball team.
So here's what we do. We relocate. None of the NBA teams are really struggling that much. We relocate the Athletics to Vegas, so they could continue to suck Oakland dry. And for basketball, the Clippers. Yeah, Las Vegas Clippers.
Yeah.
Or you could rename them to the Gamblers. I know there have been teams that have done that in the past to try to be Las Vegas Gamblers.
Yeah.
Good work.
Try to take advantage of that gambling city.
Yeah. Some
But
other stuff. Oh, go ahead, Kylie.
but yeah, so some other stuff like again, the vaccine mandate, huge for basketball. I mean, Toronto is the only city with a basketball team, at least for now. We'll see if they add another eventually. But
Vancouver.
yeah,
Bring back
but
Bring back the Grizzlies.
yeah, but that's also big. So, I mean,
Yeah.
they
Sh-
still
sh-
lost in the first round.
Shout out to the Celtics, by the way. They put number 6 in the parquet paint as part of the season-long tribute to Bill Russell. That's going to be cool.
Which, if you don't know what that is, it is where they shoot the free throws. It's the paint, right? It's the paint.
Yeah.
Right?
On the free throw.
The
Yeah,
paint
that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's better than a 4-leaf clover on every court with the number 6.
Just put a 6. Don't put the clover. Just put a 6. I don't want Boston touching my court. I'll take Bill Russell though because he was an icon. But no 4-leaf clover.
No.
One last thing for baseball. Anthony Edwards was fined $40,000 for homophobic comments. We'll leave it at that. Anthony, come on, bro. You know better.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave it at that. But come on, man. So let's get to the big meat and potatoes of today's episode. NFL Week 2, absolutely insane. There was so much that happened, especially when it came to comebacks. I think the best way to start is just to remind everybody that Patrick Mahomes is him.
Sure.
Patrick Mahomes is him. Yeah. No. I know there's a lot of great performances, but I just want to say, first of all, I pity anybody who doesn't have Amazon Prime because Amazon's Thursday night setup is actually really well done. And Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
Sports.
Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit actually are really, really good pair together. So pretty solid. And yeah, the Chiefs are still really good. So
yeah,
another year of the Chiefs are the new Patriots, but the difference is they're likable.
Yeah. That I can agree with that. I can agree. You guys definitely do run the AFC right now. Like
you got Jackson and Brittany Mahomes. I mean,
but yeah, the AFC goes through the Chiefs though. Like they're the top dog.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Kylie, I get it. Jackson and Brittany are kind of annoying, but I will take a TikTok dancer and Patrick's crazy wife over Bill Belichick cheating every season.
But with that being said, I like the Bills to give them competition. I like the Ravens to give them competition. And who else is the AFC team that impressed me this week?
Miami?
No, Miami. They've been showing me something the first 2 weeks, but they still got some. They still got to show me something because Tua still throws the ball a little not likable to my standards. I'm not sure who it was, but I know the Bills and the Ravens are definitely going to give Kansas City go.
Speaking of the Ravens, they were part of these insane comebacks that we had in week 2. We had 4 huge comebacks. I'll start with the Ravens. Baltimore was up 35-14 on the Dolphins and lost somehow.
So they did lose both their corners. Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters both got injured. So, that gives a lot of leeway for and I'm not a Ravens fan, so I'm not vouching for the Ravens or anything. I'm just speaking from a football standpoint, what I saw on the football field. They lost both starting corners, so that gives leeway for guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who are 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL, against young cornerbacks, young DBs. Because even their safety, he's a rookie that they just drafted. You feel me? So yeah, once they lost, AFC is so much better than NFC. NFC is terrible. Oh yeah, definitely. The NFC is absolutely atrocious.
NFC's got some issues. We'll get into that.
Yeah. But once they lost their 2 starting cornerbacks, the core of their defense really went downhill because as much as people don't like to say it, Marlon Humphrey actually is the leader of that defense. And
absolutely.
So when you lose the leader of your defense, it hurts your defense tremendously. And then when you lose a guy like Marcus Peters afterwards, it hurts your defense even more. So it gives leeway for guys like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, like I said, who are two of the fastest receivers in the NFL, to go do the crazy things they did. I think they both had 160 plus yards receiving or something like that. And they're both the only two receivers who have over 200 yards in the first 2 weeks. So, you know, Miami, they got some talent over there, as long as they can keep putting the pieces together, and Tua can, you know, get the ball out and stop throwing it to the dirt.
I think that this game was Tua's coming out party. This was Tua saying, "Hey, if you weren't impressed by us shutting down the Patriots last week, check it. We fought back under pressure against a very good Ravens team that is definitely going to be a problem come playoff time if they can stay healthy. Look what
100%. And that shows you that their defense is just as good as their offense. So their offense has electrifying guys on that side of the ball, but their defense holds New England at 7 points. And then, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens come out and put 35 on you. But then once they got to 35, defense made a standstill so that they can go out and win that football game. So Dolphins could be somebody to reckon with, and maybe not this year, but in the upcoming years.
I agree. By the way, Dolphins Ravens so far, game of the year so far. That was fantastic to watch. In terms of other comebacks, speaking of former Ravens, Joe Flacco suddenly realized, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be an elite quarterback in the final 2 minutes. The Browns were predicted by 99% chance to win against the Jets, and they probably should have. By the way, I did not expect this game to be interesting at all. This was the game I circled as who cares? They're playing. There's one every week. You know, this week it's like Houston and Chicago. It's just circle that one as, who cares? I don't care. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. Because this game not only ended up being one of the best games of the year so far, but Joe Flacco randomly decided in the final 2 minutes, hey, y'all remember that time in 2012 when I suddenly became the GOAT? Want to see me do it again? That comeback was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was a great comeback. 1,000%. I love to see that. What'd you say, Kylie?
I said I love Flacco. He's a Philly legend.
Yeah, I love to see that for guys like Joe Flacco. You know, the old guys who, after they win a Super Bowl, they get traded, they're benched for a while, they're back up, then they get their chance again. You know, so I love to see that. But the Browns really lost that football game themselves. They should not have scored that touchdown, giving the Jets the ball back. Yeah,
I mean, I know they're up 24-17, which isn't perfect, but really at that point, if you can just run the clock down, you're good.
Exactly.
They left way too much time for the Jets.
Way too much.
And here's the thing. I don't think the Browns are going to be terrible this year because in their first 2 games, they haven't looked horrible. They've looked average, but not a bad average.
And that's kind of crazy to say because they don't have a great or even good quarterback. They have an average quarterback, and I think that's why they look so average. Yeah. But they've done a good enough job to keep them in both of their games in the first 2 weeks. So who knows what happens when Deshaun Watson comes back.
And I think that this upcoming Thursday night game this week, which we'll get into later when we do our game picks, is going to be a real test to see if the Browns, if they can keep this momentum of not being terrible up. But it all comes down to Jacoby Brissett. Yes. As for the other 2 comebacks, this one wasn't necessarily a comeback because it didn't work. But the Falcons almost came back from a 28-3 deficit against the Rams, which
would have had a field day.
We were so close to breaking the curse.
So close.
At this point, the only way that the Falcons can officially break the curse of 28-3 is to come back from 28-3, and they nearly did. By the way, I'm very concerned about the Rams. The Rams should not have let the Falcons back into that game.
No.
So there's some issues going on with LA.
Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey bailed him out.
What the Rams' problem is, I think they're a little complacent right now. They know the NFL goes through them right now. They're the Super Bowl defending champs. Yeah, they came out and lost week 1, but you know we eased by in week 2, so now we're 1-1. We're just as average as the rest of the NFL. I was looking at divisions yesterday, and I think there's 2 divisions where everybody's 1-1. So, you know, there's it's only 2 weeks in. They're complacent. They don't really have to put their foot on the gas right now. I think they're more like, as long as we can win enough games to win the division, we know we'll get to the playoffs, and that's when we'll turn it up.
That's a dangerous mindset to have, though, because if you flash back, I think 2019, the Rams were coming off that Super Bowl appearance. They got complacent. They thought, we're like the best team in the NFC. We can probably coast. It'll go through us again. Well, guess what happened? They missed the
Went to
playoffs.
Philly.
They didn't even miss the playoff. They missed the playoffs. It was.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't think anybody in their division is winning their division but them. So I think they can be complacent enough just to win the division. That gets them into the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, Trey Lance is hurt and Jimmy G is up.
Yeah.
But
for
this
the
is
rest
the
of
thing.
season.
The 49ers don't even believe in Jimmy Garoppolo.
They should.
They benched the guy for Trey Lance. They don't even believe in him. Why would the rest of the NFL be scared when they're playing those guys?
Because he's taken them to the conference championship game 2 out of the last 3 years.
And that's the crazy thing right there. Why wouldn't you believe in this guy who's taking you to the conference championship 2 out of the last 3 years?
Right.
I think San Francisco management just really wants to get younger. I think they see Jimmy Garoppolo as an older guy. He's been in the league since 2014. They're probably looking at him like, oh, we really we can't rely on, we need to go younger. But I'll say this, the whole Trey Lance Jimmy G saga really annoys me because Jimmy Garoppolo, while he may be prone to injuries, which that is a con when talking about quarterbacks, when he's good, when he's healthy, this dude is almost unstoppable. He's that good of a quarterback. He has his issues, yes, but he is great. And the fact that the Niners are so willing to just – the issue with the Niners over the last few seasons, the reason why they haven't been as productive as they should be is because they have a horrible athletics training staff. They keep getting hit with massive waves of injuries. Even last year, when they made the conference championship game, they still had tons of injuries. Deebo Samuel was basically carrying the team on his back the whole second half of the season, which surprisingly ended up working. San Francisco could be one of the juggernauts of the NFC, but they just refuse to put the blame in the right place for their problems. The problem is that they don't have a good athletic training staff. They don't have a good staff to keep their players healthy, but they just want to go and say, oh, Jimmy G is old. He's not. And that's why I'm going to say this. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to lead the 49ers back to the playoffs this year. You just watch. Trey Lance injury might have been the best. Because think about it. Trey Lance in his first start and up until the point where he got hurt against the Seahawks on Sunday looked really bad. And you can't use the weather to blame him for the Seahawks game because that was pretty nice weather out in Santa Clara.
Yeah, and it's actually crazy because Jimmy G is a guy who studied behind Tom Brady for 4 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not trust a guy who was behind Tom Brady for 4 years?
Brady's protege.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all. If the 49ers don't want him, then they should just get rid of him and give him to a team that can appreciate him.
Yeah.
I want to see Jimmy G go off this year, get the Niners back to the playoffs, go on another deep playoff run into the offseason, tell them, all right, you see what I can do. Now trade me. And he's going to end up on some.
I'd love to see him go in division to Seattle and beat the hell out of the 49ers.
Please. Please. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of teams in the NFC West, I want to wrap up the NFC West by talking about the other comeback. Cardinals. What was that? That was interesting.
That was a phone call.
Made a really good throw.
I'm not gonna the reason I'm not gonna give praise to the Cardinals just yet is because I was deeply concerned with how they were playing in the first 3 quarters. Right. They kind of made up for it with overtime, but still, what are y'all doing?
I'll agree with you on that. Oh, go ahead, Kylie. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Kyler had a really, really good clutch last-minute throw to tie the game up.
Exactly.
And I was going to say, Isaac, I'll agree with you with what you just said. But if the Cardinals can get their defense together, I think they're a team that can make a far push because we have to remember they don't even have DeAndre Hopkins yet.
Right.
So, I watched that game the other day, and there was a lot of drop passes, and I felt so bad for Kyler Murray. And I'm like, this guy needs DeAndre Hopkins back so bad.
Yeah.
As soon as they get DeAndre Hopkins back, if their defense can get on the same page with their offense, then they're going to be a team to mess with. These first two games have shown me that the Cardinals, they really need Hopkins.
I wouldn't say he isn't the key to everything, but he is the final piece in the puzzle because they got a good thing going on in Arizona, but they really need that last piece to make everything click.
And it's funny because we say in football that, like, I think we were saying a couple podcasts ago, in basketball you can have one guy and that guy can just carry the team on their back and take them all the way to the championship and stuff like that. In football you don't have that, but it's funny because DeAndre Hopkins is a receiver, not even a quarterback, and both teams that he's ever been on, he's had to carry those teams on his back. The Texans and now the Cardinals. You see what the Cardinals are doing. Do you see how the Cardinals are struggling without him? And we see the many, many, many struggles that the Texans had, even with that guy. But with that guy, they had much more power to win a football game than without him.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think they'll be fine the next 4 games without him. But having him back is going to do a whole lot to help him.
Well, let's see here. Let's see what they have the next 4 games.
They got the Rams coming up, which is going to be a crucial game for the NFC West.
Yes.
So they have the Rams this week. They got a tough next 4 weeks. They have the Rams, Panthers, Eagles, Seattle. So 2 division games, and then the Panthers and Eagles.
3 of those games are tough.
3 of those games are very tough.
One of those games is Seattle, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with them.
If they can go 2-2 in that time, get DeAndre back, what they'll be 3-3 by the time they get DeAndre back. That's good enough.
But remember, Cliff Kingsbury teams tend to peter off in the second half of the season, so don't be surprised if 3-3 goes to 4-13 really quickly.
Right.
Jesus.
They have a tendency to do that. It's been proven.
That's true.
So a couple other things happened this week. Hey y'all, does Detroit look really scary, or is it just me?
No, they're scary.
So yeah, let me say something to that. I was telling one of my friends last week too. Detroit is a whole different football team, and this is one of the teams I wanted to talk about because I remember Isaac saying, him watching the Hard Knocks and stuff, he can see Dan Campbell has really changed his team. Yeah. I said, they're a paper team. They need to impress me. Those guys have, not even just last week because it was against my team, but the first 2 weeks, those guys have impressed me so much. They put up 30 points in the last 2 weeks. I don't know the last time I've seen a Lions team be so consistent putting up 30 points.
You have to go back to the Barry Sanders years.
Yeah, so with them putting up 30 points the last 2 weeks, and then what they did to Washington in the first half, they shut them out. It's 22-0.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting. We couldn't even move the football. We had more penalty yards than we had actual offensive yards in the first half.
Hey, but shout out to Carson Wentz though, because he got those boys together in the second half, and they started to make things a little make Detroit fans a little nervous.
1,000%, and I want to get to that after I'm done talking about Detroit. But Detroit does definitely look scary in these first 2 weeks, and they can definitely make a push in there to fight in that division there if they keep it up.
They got a huge game this week against the Vikings. If they can beat Minnesota, and honestly, I think they can. Well,
I'm pretty sure that's one of the divisions that's everybody that's 1-1.
Yeah. That division is going to be so much fun. Commies, though.
So,
what's up with Washington?
I'm actually not scared. I think this is the most impressed I've been with a Washington team in a while. And I say that because we still don't have Chase Young. We still don't have a couple guys on the offensive line. But what impresses me the most is a Commanders team last year down 22-0 at half. The final score might have been 48-0.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Carson Wentz, if it's Ron Rivera, who it is, but the culture has definitely changed, and Carson Wentz does definitely have a big factor to play in that part, because what I saw in that second half was absolutely insane. I had Carson Wentz this week for 250 yards for one of my sports bets, and me and my grandma are watching this game together. It's 22-0 at halftime. I call her Palma because when I was a kid, I couldn't say grandma. So for whatever reason, Palma was what came out. So I said,
I like it.
I said, Palma, I said, for whatever reason, I feel like this guy's going to come back and win this game, and he's going to clear this 250 yards for me. Sure enough, first drive, he comes out, he scores. I'm like, all right, here it goes. Second drive, I think we punted, but then we came out and we scored again. I said, okay, here it is. So then at the third drive, he cleared the 250 yards. I was like, all right, we're going to win this football game. But then our defense got on whatever bullshit or whatever. So we ended up losing. But if our defense could have played in the second half the same way they did in the first half, we would have won that football game because Carson Wentz came out in that second half very determined. Kylee, you shut me up. I'm on the team now. He has me. He's proven enough to me in the first 2 weeks. I see that he's not a quitter, and I love it.
I love it. Hey, it's revenge week for Wentz, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just going to do a little rapid fire and some other stuff that happened to week 2 because I do want to get to our picks. First and most important, which we should have started with, the Bucs finally beat the Saints for the first time in 5 years of the regular season. Yeah. Let's go! And we did it with defense. That's the best part. I know Tom Brady hasn't looked great, but our defense has only allowed 13 points so far this year, and it's given me 2002 flashbacks. I am so ready.
And I love Mike Evans sticking up for Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, that fight changed everything. The second that Marshawn Lattimore started jawing off at Tom Brady, he was like, "Oh, Mike Evans, where is he?" You see him shoot across the field. You're like, "Oh, fun. Yeah, we're winning. No, we're coming back."
It's funny because you don't see the game how it was back in the day where there's people that actually hate each other because these guys are friends off the field and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure those two actually really hate each other. Like, they despise one another.
They don't like each other at all. And it's great. I love it. It's perfect for the game. Hey, Kylee, you didn't like I put this one in the notes. Hey, the New York Football Giants are 2-0.
Incredible.
I'm scared. Giants fans with hope is a very dangerous thing.
The scary thing is they can go 3-0 this week because Dallas they beat the Bengals, cool, whoop-de-doo. But I think that was one of the Vegas games this week that prove me wrong. Vegas, strike me dead right now if I'm lying.
Yeah.
But I think the Giants are gonna dismantle the Cowboys if we're actually being honest with you.
Cooper Rush has looked really good so far, but one also has to remember that Dallas beat a Bengals team that is in big trouble, very big trouble. So yeah, I can see it happening.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my boy Joe Burrow, man.
At this point, I think my boss at the place I work put it best. At some point, you can't blame the offensive line for it all the time now. Like Burrow's got to take some of the blame too, because the offensive line being bad isn't the only reason that he's getting sacked 7 times a game.
Yeah, it's just crazy at this point. You gotta get the ball out faster, make you guys run faster routes. Like going back to that Bucs game, I saw a lot because I like to. I probably watch every football game from start to finish by the time the week's over. So, and I haven't finished the Bucs game yet, but I was watching that Bucs game the other day, and I see Tom Brady a lot. The ball snapped, the ball's out of his hand. The ball snapped, the ball's out of his hand. His guys are running 2-3 yard routes, and he's getting the ball out so fast, but they're going to make plays so that it turns into 10 to 15 yard gains. And I think that's what Joe Burrow and the Bengals need to do.
I think we'll see that this week if they make any adjustments. Quick rapid fire to finish up week 2. Kenny Pickett needs to be the starter for the Steelers right now.
Yes.
They are not going to get far with Trubisky.
At all.
The Colts, are they in trouble? Because they certainly seemed like it.
All right, so look. The first 2 games, all right, so I saw this coming from a mile away. I was never sold on Matt Ryan to begin with.
Okay, fair enough.
So, and this is not coming from somebody that just likes Wentz. Like, this is not any of that. So,
all right.
The first 2 games of the season were historically really, really bad matchups for Indy.
Yeah.
Indy never, ever wins the first game of the season. They lost to Jacksonville, and that was their only win of the season that year. Indy just doesn't win in the first round.
I
In
get
the
that.
first week.
I
First
get
week.
that, but 24-0, that's just ridiculous.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. And then they go to Jacksonville, which they haven't won in
8 years now.
8 years now.
8 years.
So I wouldn't worry just yet about the Colts if
The Colts played the Chiefs this week, though.
Yeah, they're gonna get this.
they should have shit matchups early on.
They got a tough schedule.
Yeah,
I'll say
but
that.
I can't say they're gonna get dismantled though. That might be the Vegas game this week. If anybody is listening, put maybe $10 on the Colts straight bet. Probably win you a nice $80.
Hey, Calvin, you got to chill with that. My brother has been watching this show and he started betting on games, and he is now calling me in the middle of Monday Night Football, being like, "Hey, who should I bet for this game?" It's like, I'm not the betting guy on the show.
Hey, listen, tell him
Join the Discord.
Is it your younger brother?
My younger brother, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Tell him to just get in contact with my brother. My brother let me know.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. So let's see what else we got here. Russell Wilson struggling a bit, but the Broncos did get that dub.
Yeah.
I'm not impressed with the Broncos at all.
Yeah, no. This week is going to be big for them. Primetime Sunday night matchup against San Francisco. This is going to be a real test.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers still owns the Bears, and I have a bone to pick with Chicago because Chicago could have won this game. For whatever reason, the Packers could not stop David Montgomery. I was watching, and every time they gave the ball to David Montgomery, he would just bowling, ping pong, whatever you want to say, bowl his way through the Packers defense. But there was this one drive that got down to the goal line, and they just gave up on giving the ball to David Montgomery. They thought, oh, Justin Fields is perfect. He could do it. No, they didn't give it to David Montgomery, and they've given the Packers hope. Yeah, last thing I can say on that. God damn it. We had a Monday night doubleheader. Buffalo humiliated Tennessee. That was bad. It was bad. Dane Jackson, by the way, is okay. He has suffered a scary neck injury, but he is okay. So that's good. And one last thing, Kylee, I owe you an apology. And I owe the city of Philadelphia apology. I think Jalen Hurts might be it. I think Jalen.
You need an apology.
Don't you? Well, you owe Jalen Hurts an apology too, right? I think we all do. Jalen Hurts looks really good.
Yeah, he has looked very good the first 2 weeks.
He is him.
No, that's Patrick Mahomes, but
Jalen
could be the NFC version of him.
And let me tell you why. All right, so everybody has been saying the dude, including myself, pretty much only runs or throws short passes, is pretty inaccurate with the deep ball and all this other stuff that everybody says. Some people are taking it to the extreme, of course, but I have said this entire offseason into the 2 weeks, all I want to see is more throwing and better pocket awareness.
I agree.
First week, his pocket awareness was better. It didn't look particularly great. It didn't look as perfect as I wanted it to. Nothing's going to be perfect, but it didn't look as fantastic as I wanted it to be. But I didn't worry about that because it's still week one. Week one is crazy. Just see what he does. The change from week 1 to week 2 is insane.
So what I'll say about Jalen Hurts, because I'm pretty sure I did say that the Eagles did look the best team on paper if they got it together with Jalen Hurts. And I said Jalen Hurts needs the 5-star guys around him. Now that he has those 5-star guys around him, just like he did in college, he can perform better. It's hard to perform when you only have Devontae Smith. But now you have Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. and Kenneth Gainwell and
Quez Watkins.
Miles Sanders and Quez Watkins, and you got all these weapons around you. You better do something. So he's definitely impressed me a lot. But it goes back to what I was saying about him having those 5-star guys around him. And him having that great core around him makes him look amazing. I think he started the game the other day like 15-17 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like,
he finished with only 2 incompletions.
So he went the rest of the game 2 incompletions, and that's just absolutely amazing. So like you said, Kylie, his pocket awareness is much better. His timing on the routes with his receivers are much better, and he looks good right now. I'm gonna be honest, I'm very scared what he's gonna bring to Washington this week, because I know the stadium is gonna be filled with lots of green anyway.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be like a home game for Philadelphia. So I'm very, very scared to see what he brings to Washington this week.
There are 2 things in the world of sports that are the most terrifying things on planet Earth: an Auburn team with nothing to lose, and Philly fans when they have hope.
Yep.
By the way, Kylie, what's up with Eagles fans? What's up with the Eagles fans' beef with the Vikings? Y'all hate them.
So, all right, let me give you a
Is
little.
this still go back to the NFC Championship? Because if it does, that was 5 years ago.
Let me give you some education real quick.
Okay.
It pretty much does go back to the NFC Championship game, but it's so much more than that now. It started with the NFC Championship game, and Philly fans are excited that their team is in the conference championship game for the first time in, I believe, 10 years, or was it 2013?
It was like 10 years, yeah.
I don't think 2008 was the last time we went.
No, it was 2008.
Was it just okay? Then it was 9 years for the conference championship game at home with the best record, not only in the NFC but the entire NFL.
You were tied for the best record, but go on.
Well, yeah, but and then you got it's just insane. You got, I guarantee you, Philly fans are tailgating the day before.
Right.
So, I mean, they were tailgating in the morning when I was up going to my grandmother's on Monday. I went up to Philadelphia to see my grandmother, and they were literally tailgating in the morning.
That's awesome.
I love it. Philly fans are awesome. But it started with that. Vikings fans got pissed off, of course, with how we went. And some fans took it to the extreme, but every fan base has those extreme fans. It's not just us.
Go Birds.
We're not going to give that guy credit, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
What's wrong with the Go Birds guy? I love him.
I'll tell you why. Anyway, so fast forward a couple years, the Eagles draft Jalen Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson. Pissed off, and then all of a sudden we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. We're looking great. Jalen Reagor sucks for us. We trade him to Minnesota. Reagor says he has revenge on his mind, and Justin Jefferson says he loves playing in Minnesota and is glad he didn't go to Philly. So imagine how pissed. Yeah, you don't say that. You don't say that to Philly. You don't, because they're going to kick your ass. And they did. Darius Slay locked up Justin Jefferson when he was on him.
He did.
Locked him up. He was non-existent. So for all the Phillies concerned, hey, enjoy Minnesota.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
But before we move on, though, one thing about the game this weekend, I will say this can probably be the most exciting NFC East game this year. Just based on Carson Wentz, now he gets a chance to play these guys twice a year. And, a new Jalen Hurts with all the weapons around him. We can see one of those games where the Rams and Chiefs a couple years back, 51-46, whatever it was. We may be able to see one of those games this week.
Kylie, we're working during that game, and guess what?
We are. Oh, God damn it, we are.
Don't worry, we get the game.
I know we get the game, but
don't worry.
I know.
I'm going to move on now to game picks for week 3. That's where we're going.
Think of that.
Overall records after the first 2 weeks. I'm leading the way with a 17-15 record. Kylee, you're at 500, 16-16. Calvin, pick up the pace, 14-18. Calvin, you had a bit of a rough week 2. You went 6-10. Kylee was 7-9. I was 9-7. And we're heading into week 3 now. We're going to start things off Thursday night, old-fashioned AFC North showdown. Crucial game for these two teams, Steelers versus Browns.
2 mid games. I'm going Browns.
Yeah, as long as Mr. Trubisky's at quarterback, I'm going Browns.
I'm going to take Cleveland, too. I'm going to say this. This is the straw that breaks the camel's back. Mitch Trubisky is going to get benched in this game, and the Kenny Pickett era begins. But Cleveland is going to take the win.
I like that.
All right. We got Saints-Panthers to kick off the early games. You guys know me. I will never root for the Saints. Go Panthers, please. Also, Baker Mayfield just got added to my fantasy to replace the injured Trey Lance. So, come on, buddy.
Shout out Stephon Diggs, man. He won me my fantasy game this week. I was down 32 points. Steph Diggs scored 41.
Oh.
Won me the game.
Incredible. I love it.
But as much as I want to say the Panthers aren't starting the season 0-3, I don't know. I'm going with the Saints.
Kylee?
Every time I pick Carolina, they lose. So I'm going Saints with the hopes of Carolina winning for more than one reason.
We have our weeks. We have a mid-off, Texans-Bears. This game just exudes mid, and the Bears will win.
The Bears.
Bears?
You're picking Texans, aren't you?
Oh, no. Calvin! Hey, come on, man!
The Texans have impressed me the first 2 weeks, man.
Yeah, they've been impressive.
They played better than we thought they would.
What are the Texans? 1-1 or 0-2?
1-1.
1-1. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right. Give me the Bears. Give me the Bears.
Gotcha. All right. Chiefs versus Colts.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs by
yeah. Sorry, Colts. This is a good one. Buffalo and Miami. 2 undefeated teams going at it for the AFC East lead early on.
Buffalo. No.
Yeah. I will say Miami will make it close, but Buffalo takes it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I don't even think Miami makes it close. The defending Super Bowl champion scored 7 points on Buffalo.
True.
All right, here's another good divisional match. Lions and Vikings. It's a coming out party. Go Lions.
I'm going Vikings.
I'm going to go Lions.
All right. I finally have someone else rooting for the Lions with me. Nice.
Oh, I'm rooting for the Lions. I just think the Vikings are going to win it.
All right. Ravens, Patriots.
Ravens.
Yeah, Baltimore is oof. All right, this is going to be a controversial one.
My boy's pissed off, man. He knows his defense fucked up. He's pissed off.
This is a very controversial one. Bengals Jets is a must-win game for the Bengals, but the New York Jets are going to take it.
There's no way the Jets. No good. The Bengals are not losing to the Jets.
I'm going Bengals.
I'm going Bengals. No way.
The way the Bengals have looked these first 2 games.
Yeah, I get that.
I think the Jets might have a chance. I'm going to take the Jets.
I definitely get that, Isaac. But Joe Burrow is a winner, and I just don't see that guy going 0-3.
All right then. Raiders Titans, battle of 2 teams. Nobody expected to be 0-2. I'm taking the Raiders.
I like the Raiders.
All right, clean sweep.
As long as Tannehill's at quarterback, I don't see them.
Especially that, yeah.
We were saying this earlier. Probably one of the most anticipated NFC East matchups of the year. Carson Wentz's revenge. Eagles Commanders. I'm taking Philly.
You know what my heart says, but my brain says the Eagles.
Kylee, what do you say?
I don't know.
Her heart is with the Eagles and Carson Wentz, but her brain is with the Eagles.
Well, that's 2-1.
Actually, I have a weird feeling this is going to be the upset of the week.
Don't tell me that because I will go slam a lot of money on the Commanders.
Nah, don't do all that. I just have a weird feeling that Washington wins it for some reason.
I get you. I really do get you because
It's not just because I love Wentz. Like, it's not at all because I love Wentz. Like,
no, like I said, my heart definitely says Washington. My brain says the Eagles, but there is something in me that says this is the upset game of the week. Just because Philly has all the momentum right now, all the hype, but Washington's coming off a loss. Plus, it's a division game, and it's like Wentz's first division game against his old team. There's a lot of highly anticipated stuff here. I'm still going Eagles though.
Down to you, Kylie. Who are you taking?
I picked.
Oh, Washington, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I love that pick. Thank you.
All right, moving into the late games. Chargers versus Jacksonville. I'm taking the Chargers to win, but because of Justin Herbert's ongoing rib issues, Jaguars make it close.
I'm going Jaguars.
I'm going. I don't even care about the rib issues. Tony Romo played with broken ribs.
That's true.
Rams Cardinals. This is a big one in the NFC West, and the Rams. I feel like this is where they start to take it seriously. They get the dub.
Yeah, I like the Rams.
Falcons versus Seahawks. So our first tank bowl of the year between the NFC's two worst teams. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, I like the Falcons too, man. I think the Falcons bounce back this week and get their first one.
I agree.
Big game of the week. The big game of the week, in my opinion. Packers versus Bucks. Last time we ever get to see Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers duel it out.
Wow. That's incredible. I have to watch the game.
Tampa Bay's defense has only allowed 13 points the whole season, and it's going to stay that way. Bucks win.
Yeah, I'm going Bucks.
In a shutout. Mark it down.
I like the Bucks too.
Monday Night Football, 49ers versus Broncos. We've got a struggling Broncos team versus Jimmy Garoppolo returning to the starting lineup for the Niners.
I like Jimmy G.
Jimmy G's got to hit it. Yeah,
Broncos
everyone's taking San Francisco.
Yeah.
Our final game of the week 3. Probably the most interesting one on here. The other NFC East game. The sneaky Giants versus the Cowboys.
I like the Giants to start the season 3-0. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm taking the Giants to win this one.
Who do they play?
Cowboys.
Damn it. Yeah, give me the Giants.
Good NFC East division week. Both sides. Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, Redskins. I love it.
Oops. Yeah.
Nobody's in our division, right? I think we're all 1-1 except the Giants. Giants are 2-0.
Yeah, Giants and Philly are 2-0.
Oh yeah, you guys are 2-0 too. So Cowboys, Redskins 1-1. So damn.
Yeah.
Well, the Giants will be 3-0. Philly and the Redskins will both be 2-1 after this week.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it. All right. Well, we'll see how that all turns out. Kylie, let's take us home and wrap up this episode.
All right. That concludes this week's episode. As always, thank you guys for listening and watching and Mike for commenting and all that. If you guys ever want to support, always check out our promo codes and definitely head over to fanatics.com/BBS. We got some cool stuff for you. And definitely check out this Lone Oak beer. It's very good. Definitely keep this one cold. And check us out on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, pretty much everywhere you can get podcasts, Apple, Google, all that good stuff. We will see you guys next week for more chaos.
Also join Kylie's Discord because I put my best bets in there every day now. When I get a chance. I was slacking this weekend because I was too tuned to football, but I'm back now. Got you guys.
So go to my personal Twitter, and the Discord is in the link there. And yeah, definitely go check that out. We'll see you guys next week.
Oh, yeah. There you go, Isaac. Tell your brother, just check Kylie's Discord.
I will let him know. I will let him know. See you guys next week.
Peace out.
Go
Okay.
Birds!
Go Birds.